Hello everybody, and everybody else. My name is ScriptCat, and this is ScriptCat Says. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're going to discuss accountability. What is accountability? According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, accountability is the fact of being responsible for what you do and the ability to give a satisfactory reason for it, or the degree to which this happens. Most frauditors, sob-sits, cop-baiters, and Karens show no accountability for their actions. Oh, they can spew reasons for what they do and why they do it, but those reasons are invariably centered on their own needs and wants and rarely focus on the greater good, regardless of what they profess. Primarily, if you scratch the surface of most of these folks, you find them blaming anybody but themselves for what they do or say or the consequences thereof.
I'm threatening them. I didn't make no threats. All I said is pick up your fucking trash. That's it.
So
Okay, well
That's
it takes two people to be yelling
No,
at each
actually,
other.
well, it takes one person to yell.
Okay, you can only control yourself.
Man, listen, man, I'm not the problem here. So
They
the
are.
problem's over there.
But they're
You know what I'm
retards,
saying?
so they're going
That's what everybody says.
What's everybody say?
They're not the problem.
That's
but
not
they're
my
pushing
trash.
it.
We have cameras to prove.
I got cameras to prove
Okay.
everything I'm saying.
Then call us.
I got neighbors that know. So
Are you-
that's not true.
Okay, why are you yelling at me? Am I yelling
Because
at
I
you?
want to.
Because you come up here asking.
Because I
why are
want
you
to.
Yelling?
Yeah,
Because I want to. That's
because
why.
it doesn't make a bit of damn sense.
What do you want, man? Do you want something?
I want you to stop yelling. It's just a little bit of trash in the alley.
There's not a little bit of trash. It's a whole lot of trash.
Rats are coming.
And they're walking by their own trash cans to fill up these.
Okay, so call the city and have it picked
I
up.
did. And they
Okay.
continue to do it.
Okay.
Every time they come, they do it again.
They told us they'll keep doing it and keep doing it as much as they want. So
And then they're calling saying that we're making threats. He's over there talking to them. They're making gestures behind his back.
behind all y'all's back, they're doing it right now, like this, like this.
Okay.
But they're quick to call you. I don't call you. I don't need you. For real. I mean, to be honest.
We haven't called
I respect
once.
the job you do, but I don't call you. I don't need to call you.
But the reason we're here is because you're yelling.
No, the reason why you're here is because they called you and said that I threatened them. That's
Because-
why we're here.
Because you're
She told
yelling.
And I can do that.
It's not necessary.
But they
So it's
can
not the
yell.
trash. The trash isn't necessary.
They're
Does that
yelling-
fix
they
it?
was
Does your
yelling at
yelling
us
fix
before
that
you came.
problem?
It's going to.
No, it's not.
It's going to.
It doesn't fix anything.
Eventually, it
Just
will
makes you
fix
feel
it.
like a cool guy.
Why are
'cause
you
you're
here,
yelling.
bro? Why are you here?
Now
What
that
do you
he's
want, man?
watching
I'm here
them,
because
they're
you're
not doing
yelling.
anything. He's
Okay,
That's
so
why
what
I'm
next?
here.
What next? I'm allowed to, though. That's the thing, though. I'm allowed to yell if I want to.
Well, I could be an asshole too if I want to.
Well,
but I'm
be
not
an
going
asshole
to.
then.
It's not necessary. Right?
So what next? What
Stop.
next?
So what they gonna do?
Just stop.
No.
That what he's
No.
being an asshole
You
about?
can't even be disorderly on your own porch.
Well, if they can articulate a threat, you can be arrested for that.
Well, I got proof that I didn't, though. So I can articulate that I didn't.
I know, but you'll still have to go to court and prove that you didn't.
I'm not giving you my name because of just this. If they're going to make a false accusation here, why wouldn't they do it somewhere else? I'm not giving you my name.
If we thought you were
I'm not giving you my name, man.
Yoke you up and take you away.
Well, yoke me up and take me away then. That's what you're going to have to do.
I'm not saying that's not what we want to do because I'm not saying that you're out here yelling threats.
I didn't yell no threats. My neighbor knows I didn't threat.
He
My
never
cameras
accused you.
know.
The problem is you don't listen to anything anyone tells you.
No, I listen to everything you're telling me.
No, he's not. He's
I
not.
heard everything he said. I
Did he-
didn't have a problem with
Did he
it.
accuse you?
I didn't say that he did.
He said he wants to put your side of the story.
No,
in the
he said he
report.
could articulate and do this and that.
That's not what he
Well,
said.
I beg to differ. I got everything
If
on
you would
camera.
stop yelling, you would understand.
What do you want, man? Anything else?
He just told
Anything
you.
else?
I just want
Anything else? Until they stop putting trash in the alley, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be yelling, and it's going to be them calling you.
Do you own that alley?
Man, you know what, man? I'm not even going to answer that. I don't own the alley, no.
Of course you don't.
No.
So
But
you're not.
today,
It's not your responsibility. You're not in control.
it is. I live here. I live here.
There's easy ways to.
It's called a consideration.
So-
It's called being
Okay,
considerate
then stop
of your
being.
neighbors.
Then why are you being so inconsiderate?
Why am I being inconsiderate?
Yeah.
Man, this conversation's
See,
over,
it
man.
always gets
This
turned on you.
conversation's over,
Always
brother.
gets turned on you.
See
Every
ya.
fucking time.
Come on, Vincent. This conversation's over.
It's because they're a bunch of retards.
Now I'm the
over there.
problem. You hear this, Terry? I'm the problem.
Look at you and look
You
at
get that a lot?
I'm the problem, right?
Does that happen to you a lot?
That's crazy as fuck. What'd you say?
Does that happen to you a lot where people say you're the problem and you don't think you are?
Oh, it happens a lot.
Yeah, that's because you are the problem.
No, I'm definitely not the problem.
When it always happens,
I'm
it's because
definitely
you
not
are.
the problem.
Okay.
I'm definitely not. To be honest with you, it doesn't happen a lot. Only when you fucks are here. That's the only time it happens. That's the only time.
All right, buddy.
Everybody else in my life, I'm pretty trustworthy.
Hell yes.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, you would. I bet your dick's like this big too.
It is.
This is one of my favorite video clips. It clearly shows a gentleman and his wife denying any responsibility or accountability for their actions. Everything is someone else's fault. His penultimate comment to the officer is golden. When faced with the bitter truth that he is, in fact, the problem, he throws blame back onto the officer and then insults him in a most immature manner. Surprisingly for us who are looking on, there was no aha moment for this guy. I'm going to let Dr. Grande explain why the direct confrontation of this gentleman and those like him didn't quite work.
It's the concept of blame shifting in the context of cluster B personality disorders. So this would include antisocial, narcissistic, borderline, and histrionic personality disorders. Now, blame shifting is a failure to take responsibility and deflecting responsibility. We could think of it as a cognitive distortion, and we can also think about it as a type of manipulation. It could also be considered an unwillingness or an inability to take responsibility, or a refusal based on someone's interpretation of evidence. Challenging the blame shifting in a scenario like this, you're going to end up in a stalemate some of the time. So direct challenging can just lead to somebody continuing with the blame shifting because of their interpretation of the evidence, which of course you can contest, but you can't ultimately prove that their interpretation is incorrect. Say that somebody's caught with heroin or cocaine or some other drug that's clearly illegal, and they deny criminal responsibility because they say the action should not have been a crime in the first place. And they have all these reasons why the drug should never have been criminalized or should be decriminalized. So again, you end up in a stalemate. If you challenge that, the individual could just throw that back at you, and again, you're in a stalemate, or they could sidestep the issue. But either way, directly challenging that distortion may not be successful. So why does this strategy sometimes fail? Well, it comes down to a characteristic of all personality disorders called lack of insight. Blame shifting, to some extent, is maintained because of a lack of insight. Sometimes we call lack of insight anosognosia.
Did make mention that you do have a past child support that you do owe for your two boys with Miss Karen Strackner. Is that correct?
Strassner, yes.
Strassner, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a concern, I guess with that, how is it that the amount has been able to get that high over the years?
So I guess one, because I haven't worked all that time, and second, the last thing I heard from Miss Strassner 7 years ago was, "We don't want anything from you. We hope you die. If I buy the pills, will you kill yourself?"
Okay. So I'm going to treat this like court in the sense that I don't have anything to go against what you're telling me there. Okay. So I'm not going to argue.
I have all the screenshots. I have everything.
I'm not going to argue against the statement that you make there. But what I do want to say is, even though she may have made those statements to you, as the court has made that a requirement for you, do you find that her statements that she made overrode what the court ruling was?
What do you mean, her statements?
So by her telling you that she doesn't want anything from you, do you feel that that overrode your responsibility to the court to make those payments?
No, but it's the court's responsibility to automatically take it out of my check, not mine.
Okay. So with that being...
Right or wrong?
To a degree. It depends on the state, of course. It depends on the jurisdiction and what their current statutes and all have listed. Well,
for the 3 years I worked as a contractor, they did that. They took it out of my pay every 2 weeks, and she was getting right at $500 every week. Because I was making pretty damn good money back then.
Okay. So what happened in between then and now where you were not able to report any income? Are you on disability, SSDI, anything like that, which keeps you from having a check that they could either garnish or automatically withdraw that money from?
No, I'm not on any of that, but I do have 70% muscle death in my left arm and 40% in my right arm, where the muscles in my arms, for some reason, Vanderbilt University of all places can't even figure out why the muscles in my arms are dying. I can't even hold my little girl for longer than 2 minutes.
Are you done?
That was the ever-popular Jeremiah Payne explaining why he can't hold a job and pay his child support. Yeah. Anyway, I have another short video that talks about accountability and responsibility. It would be great if our friends would watch this. It might open their eyes a bit. Yeah.
In this lesson, we're going to be talking about taking responsibility. And when you take responsibility, you create a life that works. And what you will learn is what it means to own your own mistakes, how a lack of accountability costs you time, energy, and money, and how excuses and justifications keep you and the people around you enormously frustrated. In this lesson, we have a concept called the line. Here it is, the line. And we're going to be talking about being above or below the line. So there it is. So it's called the ORA-BED flip chart, O-R-A-B-E-D. The ORA stands for ownership, responsibility, and accountability. And that's above the line behavior. And below the line we have blame, excuses, justifications, and denial. And that's below the line. So here we have above the line and below the line. So if I ask you, is that a comment that's below the line? Immediately you should have some concept about what I'm saying. I'm saying, are you being responsible here? And I want you to look at what you're saying. Now, how do we know when someone's below the line? Well, mostly it comes with an enormous story. Now, why did this happen? Well, you wouldn't believe how come I was late today. The alarm clock didn't go off on time. The traffic was really, really bad. There was an accident on the freeway. Now, the truth is you just didn't get here on time, and we don't really want to hear your story. So, above the line or below the line. Now, choosing to take ownership and to be responsible and accountable can be really difficult. But when we choose to live above the line, life gets much easier, it's freer, and it's fun. So responsibility is your choice, and it is a choice. Every moment of every day, we choose how we live. We choose the values and ideals to which we will hold ourselves accountable. Now, below the line, when we go below the line, we fall into the trap of blaming, being in denial, and having excuses, and we give up control. We become angry and resentful and feel powerless when we blame others for our problems. Below the line is also being a victim. Stuff happens to us. You can't change anything from this place. You're only a victim once, as one of my friends says, and every other time you are a willing participant. Blame. You know you're blaming when the first word out of your mouth is you. You did this, and you did that, and you didn't do this, and you didn't do that. Oh, it goes on and on and on. And it's so common for people to blame everyone else around them, but take a look at how did I contribute to what happened here. It's always someone else's fault when you're blaming. And there is no learning, no movement forward, and no happiness and joy there. Excuses and justification. You make excuses or justify when the word but is inserted. I think you're a really nice person and this is a wonderful thing to do, but. And what it does is it absolutely negates everything you said already, and now I'm going to hear a story or a excuse here. because, well, the reason I didn't get the project in on time is because. And then hold on, because you're going to get a really big story and lots of rubbish come out of my mouth immediately after the because. Embellishing your story and finding people to agree with you is another way of making excuses and justifications. And of course, denial is just when you're totally unwilling to see what's going on and you refuse to face reality. And that's very, very simple, to pretend it's just not happening. You know, we really don't have a problem in our relationship. However, my wife doesn't live with me anymore and I'm in a house on my own, but it was all her fault and there was nothing wrong with me. It was all her. Or on the other side of it, it was all him. You know, it's very, very common to have an enormous amount of denial. Living above the line. When we choose to live above the line, no matter how hard that may be, we are freed up to reinvent ourselves and learn the lessons that we need to learn. Blame, excuses and denial, powerful questions you can ask yourself when things are not working. And here they are. Am I looking for someone to blame here? Am I making excuses and justifying my actions? Am I in denial about what's happening? Has this ever happened to you? You're driving to an appointment or to work and you're late, and you're thinking about all of the reasons and excuses that you can come up with that are going to be really good stories when you get there to tell the people about why it was that you're late. That's what we're talking about here. We have an enormous ability to make up stories that will be really, really good. So on which side of the line are you? If the answer to any of these previous questions is yes, then you are below the line. Ownership is the ability to own your part. Responsibility is the ability to respond. Respondability. And accountability is the ability to account for. So here we have the aura bed flip chart again, and I want to give you another twist on it. Being assertive, that is, pleasant, kind, direct, honest, open, is above the line behavior. Below the line behavior is passive, aggressive, and passive aggressive. The passive person says nothing and votes with their feet. They avoid conflict at all costs. The aggressive person creates conflict, runs around blaming everybody about what's going on and being really loud and noisy doing it. And the passive aggressive person switches in between, and they're the backstabbers and the gossips and those sorts of people who go around undermining behavior everywhere. So we have below the line and above the line for assertive, passive aggressive and passive aggressive behavior. Taking responsibility will give you an insight and clarity to start to move forward. Taking responsibility allows you to learn from experience, grow and feel more powerful in any situation. Staying above the line is a moment-by-moment choice. As you consistently choose to be responsible, it becomes easier to stay above the line. And only by owning our actions can we change our world. When you live above the line, you act assertively and proactively. Assertive behavior will deliver the results you want. Learning to say no. Say no to below the line behaviors. Indulging in these behaviors is like throwing a tantrum. You will be tempted to move below the line when you are feeling under pressure. Own who you are, and when you're above the line, you will discover who you are and what you're made of. You take responsibility and demonstrate that in all of your actions, and you live in the present and can see your impact in what's going on and those around you. Taking ownership of your response gives you the power to change your life. Live above the line, and as Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. And thank you for completing this responsibility lesson.
Now I realize that some might find this video a bit preachy, but it really does have some good information. In my mind, the points they bring out should have been learned in childhood. They are mostly common sense. To end this little video, I thought you would like to see this compilation.
Uh-oh.
I'm on tie now.
Off the property, completely off the property.
I'm on tie now.
Uh-oh.
Don't reach in your pockets. Put your hands around your back. Sir, I'm not interfering with anything, sir. Sir, I'm not interfering with anything. I'm on a sidewalk. You're under arrest, I told you.
For what?
Hindering.
Sir, I was on the sidewalk.
You can let go of this.
I was on the sidewalk.
Uh-oh. Casey Camera Boy here at Santa Monica, and they got this municipal ordinance here and they're messing with the vendors. So we're here to mess with the cops, pretty much.
Uh-oh.
I'm free to stay also. It's a public sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk.
We're investigating this. You need to go.
Okay.
You need to go. We call David.
I will.
Uh-oh.
Stop! I did stop.
No, you didn't.
I did too.
Okay, slow it down. We're detaining one.
What are you doing, guys?
You're under arrest right now for hindering.
I'm hindering.
And then I'm going to serve the paper on you for trespassing for City Hall and the police department. You're no longer welcome there.
It's a city building.
Too bad. You're trespassed. You're no longer welcome.
For what reason?
Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. You know your behavior. You know your behavior.
How am I hindering?
How many times the officer's going to tell you to stop?
You told me once.
And you're running all around here.
You told me once.
You saw the cars with the lights?
You detained me and you didn't say so.
Guess what? You're not detained. You're under arrest.
Good.
Good.
Did your mom eat shit for breakfast?
Well, your dietary habits are not our concern.
Your mom. Not no. Your mom.
All right.
Uh-oh.
You like them?
Yeah. Hey, can I grab the camera?
My shoulder fucked up. My shoulder fucked up. Ow! My shoulder fucked up. My shoulder fucked up. My right shoulder. My shoulder fucked up. My shoulder fucked up. Ow! My shoulder fucked up. Okay, we're trying to put two cuffs on, man.
Hey, can I grab it? Alright. So Downey just...
Well, that was fun to watch. Thank you very much for watching this video today with me, folks. Join us next week when we delve into the very interesting world of these very strange people. Remember, Script Cat says, wear clean underwear when you get arrested, especially if you film yourself getting arrested. Bye for now.